Hi, it's Xavier. Bet you want to know how to get the edge over on your bonsai competitor? You watch on and I'll show you just how. Especially you, Tony. Hi, it's Xavier, and I'm up at the upper terrace, and I'm picking here because it's got a white background, and because I'm hoping we might actually get some better cinematography, and I'll thank Jason for that word. Anyway, how do we get the edge? I know. No pun intended. It's about sharpening your tools. What are some of the things you can do at this time of the year? Sort out all the boring stuff that we all hate most. So let's get to it, shall we? Oh, and if you haven't noticed, I'm trying something different as well. I've got my little furry friend perched firmly between my my pecs. Is that my pecs? No, between my no, let's not go there. I started bonsai back in 2002. Yawn. And these were my first ever pair of shears. Truly. And I've got another pair, the Root ones, and they are brilliant. I don't think they cost me more than, I think I got the whole pack of 8 or 9 tools for £40, and I think everyone who starts bonsai, that's how they do it. And despite spending, £40 per tool, which I did recently, a couple of years ago, these are still the best. They sharpen the best, and they also produce the best results. So I'll quickly show you how I do it. Okay, so what you'll see over here, I've got an array of tools, everything from standard shears to concave, convex, I've never known, those roundy things like that. We've got these ones, those sort of those ones, angled cutters. Got my old paring knife, which I use for air layers, stuff like that. And also, is it called a hybrid cutter? I never know. So I've got 3 options. I've got I think they're 800 grit or 300 grit. They're different grits. Very, very flexible block, and I'll always use those during the year, just before I do any cutting, any clipping, and I would just literally take anything and it's good at taking gum or horrible stuff like that. And if you're working on pines, you get that horrible resin, so you'll know, because you'll get a nice sharp edge off it. Not a sharp edge, but you'll get that lovely sign there that you've taken off a layer. So I'll use that, and I'll normally run around that. And I'll also use that just to clean up and take anything off that I don't like. The next time during the year, I'll have one of these, what are they called, multi-sharp tools, and again with the same thing, always on the downward edge. I will just do, and I'll normally do 5 and repeat it for the sake of ongoing work through the season. That will normally do. But when we get to this stage of the year, I like to use an oil block. Oil, you can use anything, handy general purpose oil. All you need to do is, once you've got your block, get some oil on there, and you want lots of oil in that. It soaks in. I'm sure most of you have sharpened tools before. Normally you look for the cutting edge, the blade, and then all I do is equal pressure about, I'll normally put a brick there because I've got the blades, the handles, and then you just find your angle, and it's somewhere around about 18 to 20 degrees for the cutting edge, and you only ever sharpen one edge, and you pull towards yourself. Well, that's what I do anyway. And you've got different, some people say push away. Certainly I've found that pulling towards, and you've got to get a nice grip as well. And I'll do 10. Even pressure. I think that's 10. And then you go to the other side. Same thing. And obviously be aware now that's the sharper side. Seat it about 20 degrees. And normally with these, there is a cutting edge that you can see. 10. That will actually create a slight burr raising on this face. So I will just use my multi-purpose one and just give it a quick, just to take that burr off. And hopefully you'll hear it's just that nice sound you get when you cut. So they're sharp. I will work through the rest of my tools to do the same thing. Just clean off the edges. That burr that was created. But obviously you've got moving parts, so I will just apply a little bit of oil. A little bit of oil. And with that oil also, just rub it over, generally over the tool. Okay. And if you look down through the center here, you'll also see whether there's a separation. And these shears have definitely got a separation or a bow in the middle. It's the key thing. I think we'll see it. We use the wrong tool for an oversized branch. End result is you end up bowing and ruining your very expensive and good tools. So that's ready. Of course, the issue we all face is concavey, roundy things. And these can be a bit more difficult. You know, this has got a rounded edge, so I could, but I don't like that, because what you don't want to do is destroy how the cutting edges meet together. So, to be honest, all the years, all I've done is I've just kept them all clean. I make sure any deposits that build up are removed, and then holding this, I'll use one of these sanding grits, and then just because they've got a little bit of flexibility, I will just, and again, it's on your cutting angle, and they will take a little bit off, and I'll just rotate and push into the sanding block. Lovely, nice, sharp edge. Again, make sure I've, with these, so your cutting edge is on the outside, you can see the angle. If you look down the angle of that, you'll see the angle. So I can actually use my block. So I'm going to clean these first. Make sure there's no gum, resins, or anything I didn't want in there. But the one thing to say is if you've got an oil stone, you can never ever go back and use it as a water stone. So once the oil's in there, it's always got to be oil stone. Whereas I think when you first start, you could actually start with water and do the same thing. So it's a little bit more awkward. Same thing, counting. And I'm using the pressure from my finger to try and give an even, and in the same way going that way. Clean them up. Oil in the action. These are definitely sharp. I've actually cut my fingers on these a number of times. And that, if you look down the line, you should get just a slight, they just slightly overlap, like my teeth do on my lowers. It's just a slight over. There's a different cutting action. Scissors, sometimes different scissors squash something, and others slide or slice. The trouble with these rounded ones, you've got the same problem. I wouldn't risk it on a straight blade, simply because what I don't want to do is ruin the cutting edge. Which could happen very, very easily. So again, I'll just go through the and I'm sure there's professional tool sharpeners out there who've got all the devices for doing this. They're probably the ones cringing right now. So, 2 sets of cutters, less than £10, £40, and these are always my preferred. So today, I've shown you how to get the edge and one over on your competitors in the bonsai world. Sharp tools, which is the most important thing to have. Use an oil stone. Use one of those easy to find 300, 400, 500, 600 grit flexible block. Common sharpening, metal sharpening thing, multi-sharp they're called. Oil, because oils ain't oil, sol. And thanks ever so much. I've seen the ads now for that. That's the Castrol GTX. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to refer back to an earlier video. And patience. Yeah. So from Xavier, up here in the patio, I'll say big hello. I wish you all the best for 2023, and thanks so much for every bit of support that I've had up till date. And I'll say no more. I will. I'll say no more. Honestly. Really, honestly. Happy bonsai and God bless. There's the thumb. Cheers.